Hello YouTube modelers, welcome back to my channel. I want to thank all my viewers and subscribers for tuning in. So this is going to be more of a bench update and some literature review with my viewers. So first, let's give a shout out to my buddy Ed over at TI 4438. That looks like a nice Atlantis 57 Chevy pepper shaker. Definitely custom with those stripes on top and that custom looking two-tone paint. But he builds a lot of models ranging from ships, Battlestar Galactica Cylon Raiders, cars, a lot of cars. I think he has videos of trains too, running through his town or near his house. And of course, he just recently built an Atlantis Silver Knight. So I'm going to have a link to his channel in the description. So go check him out if you haven't done so already. Thanks for the card, Ed, and for the words on the back. So next, I'm going to be giving a bench update. The Mustang, since the last video, the Mustang has been completed and loaded on YouTube for release in 2024. The Thunder Chief 105 is also complete and will be released shortly. So here are the next two kits I was hoping to get to. The Ford Bronco kit that I won from Ed's Garage. I'm going to prep it up for winter, so I'll probably just spray it outside. Haven't decided whether to airbrush it or to use spray cans. I'm leaning more towards spray cans, but I'll take a look at the colors and see if it's something I like, the colors. So here is the kit. Fairly recent kit. So I'm going to prep that up for winter, and then I'm going to squeeze this in before the November 5th. It is the Kenny Schrader 52 AC Delco Chevy race truck. This will be my first race truck. I've built NASCARs, but never a race truck. Hopefully the paint job will be not that complicated. It looks like you have to paint it white, and then I'll take a look at the decal sheet to see whether these are decals or you have to mask off and spray. But race truck kits are a little bit more rare compared to the cars. There's not too many of them. I've only seen the full-size Chevy, I don't know, the Silverado, and the full-size Ford pickup, the F-150, I think, the street version. But anyway, those are the only two I've ever seen, is the full-size Chevrolet and the full-size Ford pickup. Even Mike's decals, I think he only has like 3 options or 3 separate decal sheets for the Ford, but none for the Chevy. So hopefully this decal sheet will work out. So I'll have the unboxing and the part review in a separate video when I do get started. But it looks pretty detailed because it says it includes spark plug wiring unless it's molded plastic like in the cars. But this should be a good kit. The box is a little bigger than the regular ones. I would think the wheelbase or the length of the truck is a little bit longer than a Chevy Lumina or a car, stock car. But the box is a little bigger. Hopefully this slight crushing of the box doesn't affect the parts. So that's done. That's it with my shop card, shout out, and the status of my bench. Next is the literature. This is probably the only literature I can actually share with you guys, because back in the late 70s and 80s, like 79 or 80, I did used to send away for the model manufacturer catalogs, but unfortunately I threw them out. I wish I didn't. I remember I ordered one from each manufacturer. Like I had a Lindbergh, an AMT, a Monogram, a Revell. The only one I still kept was the Tamiya. But I threw out the Lindbergh, the Monogram, Revell, and AMT. I wish I didn't, because I remember those catalogs used to come with a price list, and you can actually order straight from them. What I do have is a full-size Chevrolet Brochure, which for you Chevrolet lovers, you might enjoy this. So at the end of this video, I'm going to include pictures of my dad's 64 full-size Chevrolet, which I had all the way up to 2002 before I sold it. It was a good survivor. I mean, it had original paint. It was in excellent shape for a car in the Northeast because they use salt during the winter for the snow. So the top was actually a little better than the bottom, because the bottom had like a little bit of rust in the usual areas, you know, like the bottom of the quarter panels, especially behind the wheels, a little bit in the trunk floor, and a little bit of the floor pan. Just had a little bit of rust, and it was going to be it would needed a full restoration soon anyway, and my oldest child was on the way. I have a shared driveway at that time, and the way it works is that both you and your neighbor would use the same driveway to get to your garage in the back, and then when you get to the back, you have to make a sharp turn to the garage that's located directly behind your house. So because of the length, I couldn't park the car in the back in my garage. I had to pay $200 per month in a parking lot. So that was additional cost just to hold it. Every time I used it, I would have to tip the guy who got the car. And if you guys are familiar with old cars, unlike new ones, when you shut off the ignition, you just turn it until you can't turn it anymore, and then you can pull the key out. But with the old cars, you turn it to a certain point where everything's off, and then you can pull the key out. But if you turn it off completely all the way, you actually turn on the accessories, and the ignition is, I guess the battery power is still on, because you can see a red light on the dash, but the parking lot attendants wouldn't know that, so they used to drain my battery all the time. So I left a note for them to pull the key out when they were done with the car, because they used to park it for you. It wasn't a self park. So the combination of, you know, my oldest child coming, the additional expenses, the need for restoration, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I did include pictures at the end for you to enjoy. I don't know why I didn't remove the front seat covers, because underneath was in very good condition. I just put the seat covers on so that I don't wear down the front seats. And I left a magnet on the glove box of a horse. I don't know why I did that, but that actually is not an emblem from Chevy. So enjoy the pics at the end, but this is what I want to share with you guys. So when my dad bought the 64 Chevy in September, it was a leftover because the 65 models were coming out. So he picked up a 65 Chevrolet color chart. I think as a little kid I thought they were stickers, so I peeled off some of them. But here are the colors for you to look at. I always like gray. So that's for 65. They also sent him, the salesman sent him, I think it's a 66, because the tail lights are flush. Christmas card. For those of you familiar with the Bronx, Pape Chevrolet was located on East Tremont, west of Westchester Square. I think I've been back there in the early 80s. A lot of dealerships in that area. It was no longer a Chevrolet dealer, it was a Honda dealer. And now I don't know what it is, if there is even a dealership there to begin with. But anyway, it was nice of the salesman to try to get repeat business. But even more surprising is they sent him a 66 brochure, and it's customized. It said things have changed from 1964. I would imagine they would have just sent him a 66 brochure, but the fact that it's personalized for everyone who bought a 64, that was pretty interesting. You could tell that as a kid I probably thought it was a coloring book. But anyway, let's take a look at it. This is pretty interesting. Graphic. 66 was also the first year of the Caprice, which is an upgrade from the Impala. Basically just a fancy. Let's take a look at it. So if you like vintage 60s advertising with models with hairspray in their hair and what do you call it? Their hair tied in a scarf with hairspray, then this is for you. So let's take a look at it. I'm trying to get rid of this glare. So here is the Caprice. Fancier taillights. Basic Impala Sport Coupe. That's the Caprice interior. That's the Sport Coupe interior. Here's the features. You could have the basic straight 6, 155 horsepower. I think it was the 250 by then. Or you could have the 427 turbojet. Turbo hydromatic 3-speed automatic. So pretty interesting stuff. Ooh, super sport convertible. I'm trying to figure out how I can do this without the glare. Is that better? Padded instrument panel, so you don't bang your head against the metal dash. No more plastic rear windows. Real glass. That's a very nice red. It's not candy apple red, it's regal red. 4-door station wagon. And of course the basic Biscayne. No Bel Air. The Chevrolet midsize. Here are the options. 120 horsepower, high drift. I wonder what cubic inch that was. I think by then the 230s were bought to 250s. But anyway, 120 horsepower. So it's definitely not a 250, maybe a little less. Interesting how back then you can custom order your cars, but now they streamline it where they just have certain pre-made trim levels and you just choose it. Very nice. 396 convertible, red lines. 2 women. The hair scarves in, enjoying. The car's probably standing still and the background is a blurred piece of paper probably. And Sport Coupe. Ermine white. Ah, the rear engine Corvair. Look at the features. $180 galloping horses for the Corsa. Maybe Maybe the Stinger didn't come out yet. I think the Stinger is also high horsepower. Very nice. The Chevy 2 or the Nova. Standard 4-cylinder. Ooh, 90 horsepower. Or the 350 horsepower, 327. That's something, isn't it? Nova wagon. I think AMT makes that kit, right? Basic Nova. Oh no, this is the Super Sport Coupe. The nice emblem, probably says 327. Is that the Super Sport? That's the basic 2-door. Interesting how they had the Sport with the no window frames, and then they have these with the... So a lot of body styles, you can have it either with the window frame or not. I think these look better, especially when you roll them down, but I always like these better because the windows are more secure, and when it rains, more positive window to the body. These are just the... Ooh, you can have Comfortron air conditioning. Push button AM FM. Telescopic steering wheel. Is this a luxury item? Outside rear view mirrors. I think back then it was only driver's side, not necessarily passenger side had one. This looks like the Vet with the radio mounted vertically. Oh, I like the way how they padded instrument panel and visor. I think 2-speed was considered a... my dad had the 2-speed. That was considered a luxury because back then they could have on or off. So 2-speed was pretty good. Backup lights. My dad's Chevy did not have backup lights. The dealer offered to install it for him, but he said, nope, I'll just take the 4 red lights in the back. So no backup lights. So here are all the options. Oh, 19 miles per gallon. $21 miles per gallon for the 6-cylinder. I think like 70% of the cars were 6-cylinder. So that's it. That's what I want to share with you guys. So stay tuned, and I'll have pictures of my 64 before I sold it, but just thought you guys would find this interesting. That's why I always like the Chevy full size. And you'll notice in the pictures, it was not the Sport Coupe, it was just a Bel Air, and it had those window posts, which I always think was more secure. The windows go up and down in the railing as opposed to just lifting up, and sometimes they don't mate together in the Sport Coupes, and then you get rain leaking in. So that's all I want to share with you guys. Hope you guys like this literature. You know, a lot of you YouTubers have literature that you share with your viewers, so I just thought it'd be interesting. I have no model catalogs to share with you guys. I regretfully threw them out. So this is it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys very soon.